In your headlines, the Turks and Caicos government is launching its recruitment program. May 1st to the 31st is being observed as Mental Health Awareness Month throughout the TCI, and the TCI Writers Society hosted an open mic night. From the PTV Broadcasting Headquarters in Providencial is your number one source for news. I'm Erica Pinales, delivering the latest from across the country this Thursday, May 5th, 2022, right to your door. Newswatch starts now. The Turks and Caicos government is launching its recruitment program for the 2022 to 2023 financial year. Here's more. As a part of its efforts to continue to attract talent to the Turks and Caicos Islands civil service and to ensure that all new and vacant posts across government are filled on a timely basis, the Turks and Caicos government is launching its recruitment program for the 2022 to 2023 financial year. Commenting on the Turks and Caicos recruitment program, Deputy Governor and Head of the Civil Service, Her Excellency Anya Williams said, quote, "We are pleased to launch our recruitment program for the 2022 to 2023 financial year as we seek to fill a number of key positions across government and to attract new talent to the Turks and Caicos Islands civil service," end quote. There are currently over 300 positions to be filled across the government. The first recruitment drive, which is currently being conducted, reportedly includes over 80 positions and ranges across all ministries, including key positions in the ministries of health, education, infrastructure, and border control. TCIG say they are pleased with the continued level of interest in TCIG positions and hope that with the implementation of the new 4% across the board salary increase and the introduction of the 6% TCIG pension scheme, that this interest will further increase. They also hope to see further promotions from within the service in the year ahead as they continue to focus on improving the skill set of current staff through the civil service professional development and other programs which provide access to scholarships and grants for associate, bachelor's, and master's degree programs, as well as other training programs which allow staff the opportunity to qualify themselves to compete for other positions across government. We gather that during the 2021 to 2022 financial year, there was a significant number of promotions within the public service, which included the promotion of 2 persons to the post of permanent secretary, 7 to the post of deputy secretary, 7 to the post of principal, 4 to the post of vice principal, and as well as a number of other key promotions across government. TCIG say they continue to provide the public with access to vacancies across the government through the publication of job advertisements on their webpage, www.gov.tc/government-vacancies, and hope this year to further automate the application process. As recruitment is an ongoing process with staff continuously moving up within and also at times out of the organization, TCIG promised to do their best to ensure that positions that become available are filled within a timely manner throughout the year ahead. May 1st to the 31st is being observed as Mental Health Awareness Month throughout the Turks and Caicos Islands. We bring you the details. The theme for the month is Together for Mental Health. The Minister of Health, Honorable Jamel Robinson, says that this theme is indeed an important one as it signifies the need for us all to join our voices together to bring awareness, advocate for mental health, and ensure easy access to treatment and care. Quite often, mental health and psychology are taboo topics in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Mental health is an extremely important part of overall health. With a growing number of persons reaching out for mental health support, Honorable Robinson believes it is critical that they feel comfortable and confident to do so. To facilitate this, we must continue to tackle stigma and negative stereotypes that tend to serve as a barrier between people who need help and the services that are there for them. In accordance with its mission to provide access to quality services and advocate for the mental health and substance use needs of individuals of all ages in the Turks and Caicos Islands, the Department of Mental Health and Substance Dependence will host the first annual Mental Health Awareness Month starting May 1st to the 31st of 2022. Mental health conditions affect individuals, families, and entire communities. Unfortunately, some individuals are reluctant to reach out for help due to stigma and harsh negative perceptions surrounding mental health illnesses, especially here in our small Turks and Caicos. Around the world, people with mental health illnesses also experience disparities in income, employment, education, homelessness, and most tragically, life expectancy. Outdated misperceptions, myths, and prejudice lead to many of these outcomes. We all go through tough times and people help us through them. Other times we have to be worried about other people's mental health. Whether they are a friend, family member, or colleague, there are many ways to support somebody who you care about. So how can you support someone with a mental health problem? Number 1, talking about mental health. Talking to someone is often the first step to take when you know they're going through a tough and hard time. This way you can find out what is troubling them and what you can do to help. 2, let them share as much or as little they want to. Let them lead the discussion at their own pace. 3, talk about self-care. Talk about ways of de-stressing or practicing self-care and ask if they find anything helpful. Exercising, having a healthy diet, and getting a good night's sleep can help protect mental health and sustain well-being. 4, listen carefully to what they tell you. Repeat what they have said back to them to ensure that they have understood it. And finally, offer them help in seeking professional support and provide information on ways to do this. You might want to offer to go to the GP with them or help them talk to a friend or family member. Try not to take control and allow them to make decisions. Mental health illnesses do not discriminate, neither is it someone's fault if they happen to develop a mental illness. We must join our hands, hearts, and voices and ensure that anyone who is struggling mentally or emotionally knows how to get help, as there are reportedly trained mental health professionals that are ready and willing to be of assistance. Minister of Health Honorable Jamel Robinson in his latest press release stated, quote, "Let's join together, Turks and Caicos. Let's join together for mental health this month and beyond." Don't go anywhere. More News Watch when we return.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to News Watch. On Monday, May 2nd, 2022, the TCI's Writers Society hosted an open mic night. Take a look. The evening showcased an array of deliveries, some evoking tears, others which explored into local folklore ballads, to deep-thinking prose, and to belly-cramping laughter. Sandra Garland won a first and second place in the events category with a winning piece called Kiss on the Forehead and the second place entry titled View of the Kite. Rose Higgs placed third in this category with an entry called Provo Day Vibe. Garland also outdid the emotions category with her entry When Dark Clouds Gather, besting Jessica Lambert into second place and Kendria Celsius and Lotita Williamson, who tied for third. That category saw a massive 25 entries being submitted. As a result, Garland walked away with the overall title on the judges' leaderboard with 542 points. Pastor Bradley Hanfield finished in second spot with 376 points, with Emily Malcolm rounding off the top 3 with 189 points. Hanfield won first and third place in the People category with the entry Slave Owner's Unpaid Debt and the third place submission entitled John the Lover. Emily Malcolm won second place in that category with her piece Let Me Breathe. Garland was elated while grateful to have been crowned the overall winner. Dr. Barbara Ambrister, president of the Writers Society, described the event as fabulous. Ambrister said, quote, "For me, I heard the sentiments that I wanted to hear. which was that we waited for a long time for this type of forum to be able to express ourselves. Poems that were written years ago just sitting there unexpressed, with no avenue in which to have them aired, and for people to appreciate what is going on and the talent that we have in the Turks and Caicos Islands, end quote. She said the open mic poetry contest was an opportunity to appreciate the creativity in one another in a wholesome and friendly atmosphere. Don't touch that remote, we'll be right back. Coming up next is your weather forecast.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to Newswatch. Here's the latest in your weather forecast. Here's your weather forecast for May 6, 2022. For the nation's capital, Grand Turk, on Friday, partly cloudy skies, high 81, low 76, winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For South Caicos, partly cloudy skies, high 81, low 76, winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For North and Middle Caicos, partly cloudy skies, high 81, low 76, winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For Parrot and Pine Key, partly cloudy skies, high 82, low 76, winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And on Providenciales, partly cloudy skies, high 82, low 76, winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now for your sunrise and sunset. Sunrise 6:15 a.m., sunset 7:18 p.m. And for your high tides and low tides, high tides 12:17 a.m., 12:17 p.m. And for your low tides 6:20 a.m., 6:08 p.m. And that's it for your weather forecast. We'll be right back with more Newswatch.
Here at People's Television, we're more than just your leading news and entertainment services. We are
spreading the gospel.
We are breaking barriers.
We are preserving the culture. Each one, teach one.
We are committed to excellence.
We're creating change.
We are creating memories.
We are the future. I am PTV.
I am PTV. I am PTV.
I am PTV.
We are PTV.
We are continuing the legacy. We are PTV.
The contribution rate for private sector and self-employed persons has increased, and in an exclusive with representatives from the National Insurance Board, they explained why it had to be done. Take a look.
For Social Security institutions, normally the contribution rate is reflected, it reflects the cost of the institution. So the 8% contribution rate would have been set when we started out 30 years ago, right? Now, we can all appreciate that cost would have increased over the past 30 years, right? A benefit like retirement would have been much cheaper for us 30 years ago. Far fewer people would have qualified for the benefit. Far fewer people would have qualified for the rate of benefit that they do today, because the longer you pay into the pension plan, the higher your rate of benefit. So 30 years ago, everybody who qualified for a retirement pension would have gotten a minimum pension, right? Today, we pay up to 50% of the average weekly insurable earnings. That's much costlier. There are other benefits as well that would have increased over the years. Your maternity benefits, all pensions would have increased. So the cost of the plan has increased. So it's become necessary to increase the funding to the plan.
Risa explained that the rate had to be increased to ensure that the fund is stable enough for future generations. However, with inflation steadily rising each day, the director was inquired on whether or not she believes that the public could afford a higher contribution.
You have to weigh the benefits. I know a lot of people would say this is not the right time, but it has been 30 years, right? So you have to weigh the benefit of delaying. If you were to delay the increase, there are other cost implications, right? Your rates would probably have a higher hike, which would be more burdensome to persons in the future, right? We appreciate that it is a difficult decision to have taken now, but we had to do so in the interest of the plan.
The directors do believe that the increased rate is necessary as it speaks to prudent fiscal management of the National Insurance Board.
Taking the proper steps that are necessary to ensure that the fund is viable for future generations. In the past, we have increased the contribution ceiling, which in turn would have also increased persons' benefits, but that would not be sustainable at this point in time. What we have done now is to just increase the rate while maintaining the ceiling so that we can ensure that there is enough or sufficient income into the fund to be able to pay promised benefits.
Although the public exclaims that these are trying times, the NIB has long-term benefits which one should keep in mind if you're ever in need of a salary replacement.
Our pension would definitely be one of the long-term benefits. You can qualify for a pension, a retirement pension, as early as 60. And if you were to live over 100, we will continue to pay that benefit.
As the directors explained, the NIB is responsible for making sure that they have sufficient funds to be able to pay things such as retirement pensions, which requires good fiscal management. To commemorate the Insurance Board's 30-year anniversary, they've prepared some activities which will be spread throughout the islands and some very interesting new initiatives.
For the first time in NIB's history, April 1, we would have introduced legislation that allows for the payment of an unemployment benefit. So yes, we have a 2% rate increase starting this month, but 1% of that 2% goes towards that unemployment benefit fund.
The NIB has great upcoming plans, which include a fully operating IT system, and mention was also made of implementing electronic forms to include the public in this electronic upgrade. Finally, if you wish to benefit from the National Insurance Board, here's some advice for you.
I'll just add that the NIB's value proposition still holds. The NIB is a great source of income replacement for sickness or for in retirement. So as Ms. Cartwright had said, I think it's very important that contributors understand the importance of timely contributions, number one, and then number two, to ensure that those contributions are reflective of their actual earnings and what have you, so that they are eligible. When they are eligible for their benefits, they do realize the true income replacement that the NIB provides.
On May 3rd, 2022, the Department of Agriculture hosted its second workshop targeting the issue of stray dogs in the TCI. Take a look.
We're here today because we're having a stakeholder workshop on developing a dog control strategy for TCI. The Department of Agriculture has responsibility through legislature for animal control, and one of the big issues we're facing is the increase in the number of stray animals, particularly dogs on the island. We have in the past done trapping, and we recognize that that alone, together with some education and awareness is not working. So this is our second workshop where we invited key stakeholders, people who give veterinary care to animals, people who own businesses centered around animal care, people who deal with legislature and control, and like immigration, customs, environmental health, the ECR, with us here today to discuss the issues surrounding the animal control, and the hope is to develop a plan which we will then take to government for buy-in.
All private veterinary clinic stakeholders were present at the workshop, including SNP, the TCS-PCA, along with the police force, immigration, and the virtual presence of Minister of Tourism, Honorable Josephine Connolly.
We are looking for solutions for the control of stray animals, and in this case, dogs in particular. We know we have a lot to do. We want solutions that are workable, humane, and implementable, and one that takes the interests of all. We may not agree with all the decisions, but we can work to respect them and each other. I wish you all the best, and I congratulate my Department for this initiative.
As stray dogs remain a problem here in the TCI, the Department of Agriculture is looking at ways they can better eradicate the problem, which they say is not only affecting residents but tourists as well.
What has been going on for the last few years is just not working, and the stray dog problem is getting worse, and it's affecting not just tourism but everyday life, and we need to do something differently about it.
Inquired on what topic was being spoken of in the second workshop, Wilhelmina told Newswatch that dog control was the main focus along with their plan.
So in our first workshop, we basically asked the stakeholders, it was a very short workshop, whether they would be interested in partnering with government to assist with dog control. They expressed yes, and they had some very good ideas on how the matter can be addressed. So we decided, and they agreed that they would give us their time. They're very busy people, so they agreed that they would give us 1 day of their time where we could thrash out these ideas a little bit further. And the hope is when we do the strategy, what are we going to do is develop a cabinet paper and take it to government and ask government to now adopt this strategy for dog control.
Kissan Singh expressed feelings of gratitude for the partnership being formed with the private stakeholders who were just as passionate about this issue and animals as the Department of Agriculture.
I'm actually really happy that the private sector has expressed so much interest in wanting to be involved, and the fact that we have persons in the room who live on island for over 30-something years and have been assisting with animal care and control, and they have valuable information which we can tap into, and they are willing to share, and this makes me very excited.
Finally, she advises for persons to be responsible dog owners as it helps with the reduction of stray dogs.
Developing a strategy, it's going to take a little time. It's not an overnight fix, but really the issue is about animal care and persons being responsible dog owners. That is also key to, making sure that we address this stray issue problem.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of The Real News. I hate to leave you so soon, but of course, you can join us right back here every weekday at 6:30 p.m. and tap into our social media platforms at www.ptv8tci.com. I'm Erica Pinales, keeping you informed, updated, and affiliated. Until next time.